You were never really meant to suffer. Suffering is a mistake. All your loneliness, your sadness, your angry at the world, all your suffering, all your feeling down, it is pointless. It is a mistake. It is not necessary. You don't need to. And your mind will come and tell you, well, you don't understand because there is this whole things happening in the world. And when you say that, you're denying the situation. I'm not talking about being frozen and not doing anything and being on denial. That's a different thing. What I'm saying is that you don't need, through the process of, let's say, evolving as a person, you don't need to suffer. You're going to find challenges, yes. But imagine, for example, you're in the middle of a work situation where you feel stress, or in a relationship where you feel in conflict, or when you have, I don't know, money problems, health problems, whatever situation, it feels like you need to resolve it in order to be happy, in order to that moment when you fix it, that's the moment when you will be able to relax and rejoice and enjoy your life. But you know that moment never really happens. If it comes, it's just for a brief moment. It's not a good strategy. So whenever you're in the middle of this turmoil of emotions, just repeat, this is not my nature. Whenever you find yourself down, repeat to yourself, this is not my nature. You're not supposed to suffer. Suffering is an unconscious mistake. It's not something you're doing on purpose. And yet, unconsciously, you're choosing an attitude that is creating a dissonance with the situation, a resistance with the situation. So, this is not my nature. Going back to the essence, that the beautiful remembering that actually the essence of life is love and peace, as cheesy as it may sound, the good news is that it is. And that's what you're going to find the day that you stop trying hard to fix the world, to fix yourself, to run, to fight, and you just dare to rest, to let go, and let things be as they are. And whenever you do that, you will start remembering that innocence you had when you were a child, and you heard about the horrible things in the world, and something that you knew, this is not right. This is not right, but as an adult, you see it like something you have to fix, and you have to control other people in order to fix the world, let's say. But as a child, you just felt like there's something it really, that horrible thing happening, let's say someone dying or something like that, when you find out as a kid that there is something called death, you just feel this is strong dissonance with that. And that is good. Good in the sense that you're not that. And the fact that you notice there's something wrong with it, it's okay. It's just that's another within that. The wrong thing with it is the external thing. So you need to change it. But as a child, you sort of still, unconsciously, but still, you carry on this sense of well-being and cheerful state. And it is there for you. You didn't lose it. You have just covered it with experiences, unfinished experiences and traumas and things that happened that you didn't really make sense out of it. And so you start like bothering you some part in your mind. But you can still become a child to enter heaven, as Jesus said. You kind of have to. And this is like removing all these layers of all the damage that you have suffered, because you actually haven't. And I know you may have lived horrible things in your life, but I mean, of course, it also, horrible things happened to me in the sense of like my mother died like 3 years ago, and I really constantly go through situations like people will describe, but I don't suffer because I don't fight with it. And I want everybody to know that this is a possibility for you. And it's not that you have to go through a transformation and become another person. No, right there on the spot where you are right now, you still have access to what you are, to your nature. And your nature is peace and love. And that reality is going to be there in the background of all the suffering, in the background of all your moments where you feel down. It's still going to be there. And it's a very important thing to repeat. Someone has to make a YouTube video and tell you and tell everyone Happiness is not a reward in the end of a struggle. Happiness is not something you have to strive for. Happiness is not something that will come one day when things will be different. Happiness is the other way around. We just surrender. We just surrender your control. And I know all your instinct, animal defensiveness will try to come and say, no, but you don't understand. I cannot relax because there's this situation. But that's not the practical point. Because when you suffer, do you do your best? Do you imagine you have a conflict with a person, do you find the best solution? No, most of the time you just find yourself defending yourself against not one person, the government, environmental conflicts, all these situations. There is one thing that is fixing the problem, let's say practically, and another thing is suffering. They actually don't overlap much. They overlap a little bit, but if you will have to see the people who go through hard times and make it through, the heroes, the people we admire, they had the guts to think clearly and not let themselves pulled by all this. And they just were able to do the right thing, even when they had this fear, even when they had this sadness, even when they just knew, let's do that. They remember that suffering is a consequence of something that is wrong. So it's not something wrong outside of you, it's something wrong the way you are seeing life. It's not that you have to change anything, but it's just a shift. I'm just suggesting you to let go. That's another way of saying. So if you're in this situation of conflict or stress and you just let go of your fighting with it, it's not that you suddenly are in denial and say, no, this is not happening. I'm just fine. I'm fine. My nature is be fine. It's not that. That doesn't happen. And please do try this. When you're in this locked, feeling like crap, and or fighting against stuff, or finding yourself in this uncomfortable situation, just remind yourself, this is not my nature. Your nature is peace and joy. You don't have to strive for it. But you can be in the same situation and back off a little bit. And what will happen is that your mind, as not being contracted in this defensiveness, will be able to figure out a new line of action. So in the same situation, let's say it's a situation at work, you find this stressful moment, you have to push hard, and then you find, yeah, I'm suffering, but one day when I finish this job, maybe I will be able to find another job, or suddenly I will be able to actually rest in peace. No, that's too late. Anything in the future is too late. Just in this moment, you can find the peace and the joy you're looking for. And it's underneath all your ideas and interpretations about how your life is and how your life should be. Meaning your mind, your ideas, your beliefs, your thoughts. But we believe we are our thoughts, but the good thing is that that's just another thought. So you are actually not trapped. You think you're trapped, but you're not trapped. That's why we think we have to suffer, but no, that's another thought. You don't have to suffer. You can face the situation in a way that it wouldn't create suffering. And I know, I'm not saying that you should repress or deny suffering. That's another topic. I'm not talking about that. I'm saying that suffering is a mistake, and it's very important that you don't value fear, that you don't value sadness, like something precious, something to be experienced. You're not going to get to the end of the path like that. You're not going to get to the completion. The completion can only be found here and now. And if you go underneath all these mechanics of your mind that are saying all these thoughts about how horrible your life is and all the things that need to be changed for you to finally be happy, if you can go through these are just conversation voices in your head, you can still rest right now in a deeper, silent perspective that is aware of everything that is here, which is the only thing that there is. So you can let go of all the things you think they are somewhere else in a different time. Just let your awareness naturally rest on itself, here and now. It's not something you do, it's something you undo the pulling onto different circumstances. And I constantly find people who tell me, but that's too difficult. Well, if you follow this channel and you know me, you will see that my first answer is like, do practice meditation. That's in a nutshell how you achieve a state of being in this world that is not from this world. That's how you touch the peace, the honey, the real thing that is not from this world. That's why you cannot find it by solving your life. That's why you cannot find it by achieving this or becoming that. You can only be it. You can only rediscover that it was always the case. Just your thoughts and your ideas and your trauma were dispersing your enjoyment. We tend to think that joy is a dream. Joy is a goal. Joy is peace, and joy and happiness is something you have to strive for in the future. It's something you think, and I'm happy because I think. Most people have that experience, but what is really happening is that when you think, for example, you may be in a difficult situation, you may think, oh, how cool would it be to not be in this situation? What you're actually doing is you're tricking your mind into thinking to dismantling your reaction to the situation. So that peace you feel is not because of the thought. The thought is an antidote for all the crap you're thinking. So there are no positive thoughts. There are only thoughts that point reality. And guess what? Being yourself feels good. It's when it feels that everything is right. I know you live a moment in your life where you felt that you were the right person in the right place and everything seems to be just perfect as if it was. Well, that is, you were closer to your nature then. You still are. It's just that you just disperse your attention into little intentions and capsules and ways you are distracting yourself from this moment. Because this moment, if you would be able to let go of all distraction and fully, presently, continuously abide in this very moment, joy is evident. Peace is evident. Your nature is evident. That's the moment when you smile comes out of you and you don't know why. It's not because this or that. It's just the only thing meditation is giving you is the rest. This is the non-doing. That's why meditation looks like you stop your body and then you stop your mind and you may even stop your breath and then you may even, there's this whole sensation that you're just becoming less and less active. But here's the thing. If you ever practice meditation, you realize that it's anything less than that. When you sit to meditate and you focus on an object, you may find yourself incredibly busy going back to the object. So that's the work, my friend. If anything that I'm saying, it resonates with you, then there's one thing left to say. In order to fully live every moment from peace and contentment, no matter what challenges your life throw at you. And if you're so far in this video, it's because you know what I'm talking about. You need to meditate. Meditate is your natural state. So it's not that you need to do it. It will happen naturally if you stop pulling yourself out of this moment. So just let your presence abide in here. And the other option is thinking on something. So go back to one object. I have a course on this that you can access with a link down there in the description or the comments. But you can pick anything. Any good meditation will kind of invite you to have presence, to stay here and now in one way or another. After my experience and the experience of helping a lot of people, I come to the conclusion that the oldest, simplest meditation is actually the best one. Doesn't sound so interesting or funny. It actually looks like work. It's just going back to the object over and over. And you know what happens? After a while, your mind calms down and you find yourself focused, completely focused in this moment, effortlessly. And that is the definition of well being. Mental and actually, most of the time, also physical. So, if I had to close this video on something, is peace is your destiny. Not in the future, in this moment, the moment you stop distracting yourself, following your thoughts. Joy is not a dream. You think of the future, you have to artificially fabricate. No, it's the fabric of your life. So don't settle for anything else but peace and joy in every moment of your life.